We believe that whales and dolphins have rights. The right to swim where boats don't injure them. The right to swim wild, in clean, natural, noise-free waters. The right to swim free, not to be trapped in fishing nets. The right to be free, not held captive for human entertainment. The right to live, not to be hunted. The right to exist as nature intends, not as humans decide. If you believe in these rights, then you would be right to join us.
Conservation Uncharted. This is the first episode of the 2022 travel series. We're in Monterey, California today with Monterey Bay Whale Watch. You guys have known that I've wanted to make conservation education the focus of my channel, the center of my channel, since I started. And I did that at the beginning with the Conservation Cast. Met a lot of really, really great organizations and people through the Conservation Cast. And I'm super excited to be able to go out and actually highlight those organizations and show you what they're doing, like, on the ground. So the hope is that it's a quarterly travel series. This is the first episode. This is a pilot. We're on the water. We are, like, on the water. I took Dramamine. I feel great. Oh my god. Sweaty Tripod, thank you for the $15 donation. Again, this is why I did the Conservation Cast. This is why I founded Alveus. It's to do conservation education on Twitch. But there are so many people that are doing conservation, and it takes a village. And today we're with an organization that I work with on my podcast, Whale and Dolphin Conservation. They're the leading global organization in whale and dolphin conservation. When I say global, I mean they have offices in North America. They have offices in Germany, Australia, the UK, And they are all over the place in marine conservation. They do field research, they do educational outreach, they advise governments, they do it all, and they're fantastic, and I'm so excited to be partnering with them today for this. So huge shout out to them. You can do Command WDC if you want to learn more about the org. And you can do Command Donate if you would like to donate. We're trying to raise at least $1,000 for them today because they're doing this for education and for outreach on my channel. So it's a thank you to them. Shut up, Leonard. Thank you for the $25. Okay, turn the camera back. So excited to do this series. I may be super seasick, but they're bringing me more bags. That's so nice. So I left off on super excited to be working with Whale and Dolphin Conservation today. Super excited to start this series off with them because they're so great and this is so exciting. I've only been on a boat once in my life and it was a very small boat, but huge. Also, shout out to Slick. Slick is cameramaning for us today. I see all the subs. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that you just heard me throw up. It's really gross. But, you know, tell us if there's any audio problems. We're going to go ahead and start off, okay? I'm going to introduce you.
Paper's hella for
Thank you so much.
You bet. Yeah. Great. And if you do want anything, it's just in the galley.
Thank you.
You bet.
All right, we're going to start off. I'm going to introduce you guys to Sabrina, who we're with today. She's a program director for Whale and Dolphin Conservation. I'm here. Okay. I also need to pull up chat on this phone. Hold on, chat. Okay. This is Sabrina. Yes, space, read me the donos. Okay, chat, I can see you. Did you hear me throw up? Be honest.
It's okay.
It happens.
It's the sea legs are coming in right now.
Jesus with 10, Sleepy Boy with 5, Zen Ben, Stealthy with 20. These are all donations.
Those are awesome.
Benny D with 10, Raul with $100.
Holy cow.
Wow. And Civ with the $50. Thank you so much for your donations today. Civvy with the 50, yes. Thank you so much for your donations. Again, going straight to Whale and Dolphin Conservation. Okay, here with Sabrina. who flew out here to be on this stream with us today, and we're going to talk about a couple of the campaigns that Whale and Dolphin Conservation does. We're going to talk about marine conservation, what they do, and I'll let Sabrina introduce herself and say what you do with WDC.
So I'm Sabrina, like she said. I do a lot of our communications as well as helping out with our other really cool programs. So our education, our internship program, but largely social media and communications.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. Okay. Okay. Chat. We're gonna do questions. Salty. We're getting sprayed a little bit with water. Also, Sabrina's like boat expert. Does whale watching tours for funsies on her own time. So she's like in her element right now. I'm also in my element though. I feel great. I feel excellent. We're gonna do an open Q&A at the end. So if you guys have questions, you can use the Ask bot. Okay, I'm gonna do that at the end. But we're gonna start by talking about a couple of their campaigns. The first one that we're gonna talk about, I thought was really important because it highlights why we want to work for whale and dolphin conservation, why it's so important, not just for the whales, but also for us. So we're going to start out talking about the Green Whale campaign. Space is going to pull up a video made by Whale and Dolphin Conservation that explains it to you a little bit, and then we're going to come back to me and Sabrina and we're going to talk about it more. Okay? Enjoy the video.
Hi, I'm Regina, and I've been studying whales and their role in the marine ecosystem for many years. Did you know that whales are allies in the fight against climate change? No? Then my colleague Sabrina will imagine what it's like to be inside the mind of a humpback whale named Salt.
Hi, I'm Salt, and I spend most of the year off the east coast of North America. I am a female humpback whale with a large family. I have 15 children, 17 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren, and I hope there will be more. My whole family are gardeners of the seas. But how do we do that? Well, we fertilize the seas with nutrients.
Iron and other nutrients from whale poop feed phytoplankton. These tiny marine plants absorb carbon dioxide from the air and release oxygen into the atmosphere. So much, in fact, that land creatures like us humans owe every other breath we take to the ocean.
But we do even more. Whales are also nutrient mixers. To find food, we often have to dive deep, but to breathe, we regularly come to the water's surface.
By spending time at different ocean depths, whales mix and transport nutrients across all water layers. This benefits both phytoplankton at the ocean surface and bottom-dwelling organisms in the deep sea.
At some point, even whales have to die. But even after we die, we play an important role in the marine ecosystem.
The body cells of whales, like those of all living creatures, consist largely of carbon. When a whale dies, the body usually sinks to the bottom of the sea, locking the carbon away for up to thousands of years. There it is decomposed over many years by hungry deep-sea creatures. The carbon stored in the whale's carcass is transferred to the cells of the deep-sea organisms, preventing it from being released back into the atmosphere.
Whales are perfect climate protectors. We are climate giants. Without me as the head of the family, there will be far fewer whales in the ocean, and the fewer whales there are, the more the climate is out of balance. So when you protect us, you also protect the climate. Every whale counts.
Come to our website to learn more about how we need to save the whales to save the world.
No, you're good. Welcome back, guys. I hope you liked that video. That actually, Sabrina was the voice of Salt in that video. I hope you liked it. Very cool. I thought it was so cute. And really good. We're going to talk about it a little more. We're going to read off some of the donos that came through right now, or during the video, or since I started reading them off last time. Chateau with 25, Rawaka with 20, Drizco with 20, Voyage with $10, Anish with $20, Kubo with $77, Christmas Attic with 20, Danza with $25.
Holy cow.
Esmond with $25. Dora with $5. Owl with $100. Space with $10. Sabrina's pointing at it. Can you see a whale?
A whale, yeah.
Really?
There's a blow. That's how you can identify a whale, especially in this kind of weather. So they'll come up to the surface, they exhale, and it creates a misty, like foggy area, like right there. And there's the dorsal fin sticking out of the water. So that is a humpback whale. You can see the boat. Right there.
Mick, thank you for the $50. We're seeing our first whale out here today.
Get ready
chat.
for tail.
It's a humpback
Tail.
whale. Tail. Oh my gosh.
So he'll be down below.
Anywhere between 55,000 to 60,000 pounds.
Peel here with $150. Sleep Drifter with $50. We've hit $992
I would
in
make
donations.
sure to keep your bag close to you or
Oh.
stopped, just because it can really. I don't want to like shift your focus back to that, but
Okay.
it can sneak up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel way better after throwing up.
Okay, just make sure you have it close.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. How are we doing over here?
Oh no. Okay.
No, we got ginger. We got ginger. We're good. We're good. We got whales.
She said now that we stop, I have to keep my bag close because it might be bad. We'll see.
More.
We have more bags, but I'm gonna be fine. Chat, we're almost at the $1,000 goal already.
Holy cow.
Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much for your donations. Okay, so the green whale campaign, you guys watched the video, and actually fantastic timing. You just saw a whale come up to the surface. I'm gonna let you explain it. I did my research yesterday, but you could probably explain it better. Let's talk about why whales are important to us.
Yeah, so basically whales play a vital role as marine ecosystem engineers. So that's like really large words, but basically saying whale poop is really, really important.
Whale poop.
Whale poop.
People
So
clap.
we're crossing our fingers we see whale poop today. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Because essentially whales can't poop when they're down at lower levels because of the water pressure. So when they come up to the surface, there's less water pressure. It can come out. So at our ocean surface, we have these things called phytoplankton, which essentially is water plants. Just like our plants on land, we need nutrients to put on it. So just like we might put like cow manure on our plants, well, all of that whales pooping helps to fertilize that phytoplankton. And phytoplankton creates over half of the oxygen that we breathe. So we literally could take 2 very deep breaths, which like is very good for nausea.
Yeah.
And one of them is because trees are awesome, but the other one is because of all that phytoplankton. So
Every other breath, chat, say thank you to phytoplankton.
yeah, and so essentially WDC says that we need to protect these whales so that they can keep pooping and that they can continue to not only fertilize, create oxygen, but combat climate change, sustain fish stocks, because phytoplankton is super important to our planet. So we're using that idea that whales are important, and they also have, each individual is unique and important to the population. So it's not just, oh, we should save whales, but we should save individual whales as well. That's the gist of it.
I read on your guys' website, phytoplankton absorbs like a third of human generated carbon dioxide.
Yeah.
That is a lot. That's insane.
And a big part of helping climate change as well.
Chat, we hit our $1,000 goal. So, wait, hold on, let me get... Space, can you read out donuts? I'm sorry, I forgot to make myself.
11 o'clock.
So when we're looking for whales,
Snarpacks with 20, Mitch with 10, Cuddly Man Bear with $50.
woohoo, for you. There's the glow. humpbacks have a kind of bushy. Just kidding.
Gosh, look at all
They
this.
have like a bushy blow, where it's like that. Other whales, like a finback whale, which is the second largest species, have a long, tall blow. Blue whales also have a really tall blow. So they should be around at about our 10 o'clock mark here. Here it comes. Nope, not yet. Let's do it! Nope. Just kidding. Stick this up there. So then they can then lay down for a bit.
More donos to read out, chat. There have been some big ones. We had buffoon. Start with buffoon. Philorube with 20, buffoon with 20. Rumpel with 10. Ace in Space with $50. With $50. Buggy with 10. Dragon by Night with 100. Are those dolphins?
Oh yeah, it's dolphins right there.
XT82 with $100. There are dolphins right there too.
Our whales did just pop up here at our 5 o'clock. We also have a northern pool water as well.
Space, keep going. Free X with 125. Ninny Tie with $500. Drizzy Drix with $200. That brings the total to $2,250 in donos today so far for Whale and Dolphin Conservation. Thank you so much, you guys. That's so cool. We've seen humpback whales. We've seen, I don't know if you guys could see those dolphins. They were Harper porpoises.
Harbor porpoises.
Okay. Very cool. Can you tell us anything about those?
So those guys are basically kind of part of the dolphin family. So they're porpoise. They have a shorter snout and then a small triangular dorsal fin. They're one of my favorite species because they look like little tiny like footballs in the water.
Yeah.
And they're really fast, so they're hard to see. But they like to go over after like small fish or jellyfish or that kind of sort.
Okay. And then last segue from the Green Whale campaign, because we just talked about it a little bit and we'll close up here. Is it primarily, it's an educational campaign?
It's educational, but it also is talking to a lot of stakeholders, governments, officials to say, hey, like, if you really want to help to do something with climate change, we also need to protect whales as well. So we're using it a lot with our policy side of things too, as well.
Okay, very cool, very cool. And then what can viewers do to support that campaign?
Great question. So really the first best thing is to just like start to tell people, hey, whales are important. Did you know about whale poop? Whale poop is so awesome. Phytoplankton. So the more people that know that whales are so important to our environment, the more people will want to help and take action as well. In addition, you can always, we have more information on our website, but there is, I believe our UK office has an awareness campaign as well that you can always sign up for. And it never hurts. Talk to your local representatives. Hey, send an email to them. I'm from Massachusetts, and if you send a senator, hey, did you know whales are important? Like, can you please do what you can to help protect whales?
Very cool. And then obviously donations are great. We've already raised a bunch. Thank you so much. Incredible. If you want to donate, it's going directly to their PayPal. Their PayPal is hooked up today. What specifically do donations to WDC do?
Yeah, so it really goes straight to about, I believe it's like 80 to 90% goes straight to our programs. So that's to our education programs, so we can teach people about whales of all ages. It goes to our policy programs so that we can continue to be the voice for elected officials. It goes to our stranding program as well as the other offices as well. So our UK is running a big bycatch campaign, which we can always talk about later.
Yes.
And so a lot of the funding goes straight towards the work that we're actually doing.
Amazing. Amazing. Chat, we have some more dono. Space is gonna, by the way, if it seems like I'm spaced out or not there, Space is in my ear right now, so I'm listening to him. He's gonna read off donations so I can read them back out to you. Hunk with $10, Anonymous with $5, Creature with $110. Dirty Icicle with $100. Thank you so much. You guys are nuts. But really Connor awesome. O'Brien with 25. What's up, Connor? Thank you so much. Amazing. Stay strong. Oh, I'm doing great. I feel great.
Just killing it.
We hit $2,500 in donations with Connor donating that 25 at the end. Thank you so much. Also, if it seems like I'm spaced out and like staring, it's because Sabrina told me to look at the horizon, and it does help a little bit. So I'm just gonna stare at the horizon and like hope that it stays, hope that I don't, yeah, you know? I'm managing, I'm doing great. Chat, we're gonna play a little game. I know you guys love polls. So Space is gonna run some polls for us right now. We're gonna do some whale facts. Whale and Dolphin Conservation has a bunch of information on their website. I ripped all this from their website, which is great, by the way. Command WDC if you wanna see it. We just saw humpback whales today, and she talked a little bit about identifying whales. I don't know if you could hear her because we were pointed at the water, but we talked about identifying whales by their blows. Like a humpback has like a puffier blow, and then blue whales have like a straight blow. The first poll question is about blue whales. Don't show my notebook because then they'll see the answer. What is the highest recorded weight of a blue whale? You guys can type. Oh, we could hear her. Good. You guys can type A, B, C, or D, and what you think the answer is. Is it 100,000 pounds? Is it 217,000 pounds? Pounds, or is it 640,000 pounds? Everybody's answering. People are answering. Most people are saying C. Yeah. 60% are saying C right now. Wow. Okay. Did you see the answer in my notebook?
Got some whale experts on here.
They're all whale experts. You know, they've weighed blue whales. Okay. Oh. Uh-oh. Chad, just do the poll right now. Don't worry about me. Oh yeah. Yeah, great. I'm gonna assume most people are saying C, but I'm not gonna read chat because it makes me ill.
It's good.
The poll is finished. 67% of you said C. And you're correct. The largest blue whale ever recorded was 419,000 pounds.
That's massive.
That is huge. I'm about 100 pounds. Acero is just over 1,000 pounds. My horse is just over 1,000 pounds. That is big. That is a big animal. That is crazy. Okay. Yeah, you can read the next question. Please, that'd be great.
So, what animal has the largest brain on Earth? It's around 20 pounds. So, quite the noggin, quite the smarty.
Yeah. And then you can read the options.
Read the options? Okay. Yeah. We have a blue whale, a sperm whale, Hector's dolphin or a humpback whale. So, dolphin species, we got some toothed whale species, some baleen species.
80% are saying sperm whale right now.
Okay. I think our humpback is on the other side.
Chat, you just type A, B, C, or D to participate in the poll. You guys are doing great on the poll so far.
And we applaud her for also doing great too.
Oh, yeah. Great. Also, chat, can you acknowledge that it's insane that we're live and haven't had technical issues yet? This is incredible. Shout out production being just space. He's doing great. Oops, poll is finished. Oh, yeah.
And unfortunately, our answer is not the humpback whale that is at 11 o'clock.
Humpback whales are they bigger? They're bigger than sperms, are they?
They're around the same size. I
Okay.
believe. Yeah.
What was this way? 76? 73% said sperm whale, and you were correct. Again, chatters, well done. We're looking at a humpback whale right now, but sperm whale has the largest brain at about 20 pounds. Wait, once that whale goes back under, we'll do the third question.
Those are two. You want a little brain fun fact to the whale?
Yes.
So whales actually shut off half of their brain when they go to sleep because they're what we call voluntary breathers. So you and I don't think about, oh, I need to take a breath now. Whereas if a whale were to fall asleep, it would drown. So they take half of their brain and it falls asleep. The other half is awake so that it's like, oh, whale, remember, it's time to breathe. And then when it's done resting, it will switch hemispheres so that the other half is awake and the other half can take a snooze. So, I guess sperm whales are very good at sleeping.
That is crazy. What? Alright, chat, are you ready for question number 3? Sabrina's gonna read you question number 3.
What is the largest dolphin? Is it a Maui's dolphin, an Atlantic spotted dolphin, an orca, otherwise known as a killer whale, or a New Zealand dolphin?
Type A, B, C, or D. What do you think, chat? Alright, 93% of you said orca. You're correct. The largest dolphin is a killer whale. What? So what defines a dolphin? What defines a whale?
So whales are technically broken down into, it depends what's in their mouth.
Okay.
So we have whales with teeth.
Okay.
So like our dolphins, like our Rizzo's dolphins that we saw, our harbor porpoises. But then there's also whales with baleen, like our
So dolphins are whales?
So dolphins technically are whales, but not all whales are dolphins. Little
I didn't know that.
hog, yeah. So our humpbacks have baleen in their mouth, which helps them filter out their food. But our toothed whales, like orcas, are fast. They use their teeth to catch food.
Yeah.
And technically, an orca is part of the dolphin family.
There you go. Chat, a killer whale is a dolphin and dolphins are whales.
But not all whales are dolphins.
But not all whales are dolphins. Hopefully that helps clear that up for you guys. Okay, question number, is it 4?
Yes.
Question number 4. All right.
What is the deepest dive recorded by a whale? Is it 1,000 meters, which is about 0.62 miles?
Yeah, we're looking out for EU folks and our NA folks today.
Is it 2,000 meters, about 1.24 miles? 3,000 meters, about 1.87, so a little under 2. Or 6,000 meters, which is around 2.5 miles. So what is the deepest
Sabrina's gonna
dive?
run the polls for you guys.
I can chew. The deepest dive recorded by a whale before. I don't know how to operate her phone. So I'm going to trust you guys to put in your answers. Put your A, B, C, or D. Do we have 1,000 meters, 2,000 meters, 3,000 meters, or 6,000? Basically a little under 1 mile, 1.2 miles, 1.8 miles, or 2.5. Just gotta commend Meyer for killing it, for never, well, we have our humpback whales over there. Oh, and even more, just past those two.
There's a couple of humpbacks right in front of us between these 2 boats, and there's also a few under 6 o'clock, 600 feet. You're on the bow, the right side of the stern. Feel like we have a good shot of seeing them.
So I'm trusting you guys that you put your answer in, but the correct answer is 3,000 meters. So that's about 1.87 miles. That's quite a deep dive for whales. In general, most whale species don't go down too terribly far, because you got to remember they have to come up to the surface to breathe. So that's why we do keep seeing these blows, because the whales coming up, they gotta breathe. They're mammals, just like you and I. So I don't have the magical man in my ear right now, like she also does, but
You're good.
I trust you guys. Killing it. In general, most humpback whales will do general dives of around 5 to 10 minutes or so, especially depending on what they're doing. So if they're hungry or if they're looking for food or something, or just swimming, doing their little whale thing that they want to do. So let's go to the 5th question. Okay. So this is the last and final poll. See if you guys can get 5 for 5 on these answers. What is the longest migration record of any mammal? So this was made by a gray whale. Is it 5,000 miles in 172 days? Is it 11,000 miles in 172 days? 14,000 miles? Or 23,000 miles?
Sabrina's a streamer. You're doing great. You're doing great.
She has the magic man back.
I threw up. Alright, Space. I got you in my ear again. Do you want to read donos while they're... They got the last question wrong. Embarrassing. 60% said it was 6,000 meters.
Fair.
Close,
Yeah.
but incorrect. Okay. Heart tipped $100. Wild Nature Love tipped $10. Katie tipped $30. Oh, they're 46% of people, 46% of people saying C, you are correct. Well done. I also just realized I wrote these polls, and I think I really like the answer, but like C as an answer, because I think pretty much all of those were C except for one of them. So next time I won't do that, but hopefully you guys didn't notice that pattern.
They will go like a single bubble or two, but they haven't. I don't know if it'll work for anchovies.
Well done.
To certain fish that.
Well done.
What we might
Yeah, that answer is 14,000 miles in 172 days. That migration was made by a gray whale from the east coast of Russia to Mexico and back in 172 days. Like what? That's nuts.
A long car ride.
Didn't you say you afraid yet tipped $303 for Woo Back Wednesday? Happy Woo Back Wednesday. Thank you so much for the massive donation. If you guys are just clicking in, your donations are going straight to Whale and Dolphin Conservation today. This is my 2022 conservation travel series, Conservation Uncharted. We're out here with, so we hit $3,000 in donations. We're here with Sabrina, who's with Whale and Dolphin Conservation, and we are whale watching on a boat. I have thrown up twice. I feel great. It's going great. No, seriously, if you want more information on Whale and Dolphin Conservation, you can do Command WDC to get to their website. Very exciting stuff. Okay, we're gonna move on to our next topic here. We talked a little bit about bycatch earlier, chat. If you don't know what bycatch is, it's the accidental killing of prey that you don't want in fishing nets. And bycatch is a huge problem for whale and dolphins, and WDC does a lot of work surrounding it. And I'll let Sabrina talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so it really is, like she said, it is purely accidental. I mean, obviously whale fishing industry is not out there to actively try to catch whales. But it depends especially on what they're fishing for. So a lot of it tends to be a lot of the crab or the lopping industry, the lobster industry. And so WDC is working to try to figure out alternatives for whales and fishermen to use. So basically, I know out on the East Coast, we are working on something called On Demand, which essentially is trying to cut down the rope in the water column.
Oh, this is so cool.
Yeah. So it, and I'm sure it's starting to get tested. There's starting to be some talk out here on the West Coast as well. But basically, like lobster pots will sit on the ocean floor because little lobsters crawl into the traps. But then they'll have a line that attaches all the trap, and then a line that goes all the way up to the surface with a buoy, so that the lobstermen know, okay, that's mine. I'm going to pull it up. So basically, a lot of On Demand is trying to cut out a lot of that rope that's in the water column, because as whales are swimming along, they get stuck in it, they get entangled, and entanglement is a really, really bad issue. So between the top two threats that they tend to, any whale species really tends to face is vessel strikes and entanglements. And so to help cut down that water or the rope in the water column will help to reduce that entanglement possibility. So we're working a lot with other industries. This is where it's really cool when marine conservation worlds collide. So we work with engineers, we work with tech people, we work with app designers, scientists, all trying to figure out how you can create a device to help not only the whales but also the fishermen still do their job too.
So like she was saying with on-demand fishing gear, we were talking about like the lines that go up like a buoy, you know, that goes up to the top of the water so they know where the trap is. But on-demand is like, it's acoustics or something. Like it's all tech stuff, guys, conservation tech, which we talk about a lot on my channel.
Yeah.
Super cool. Also, I was reading more about bycatch yesterday, and it's really, really sad. Obviously, you don't want to see any marine life swimming with like nets on them or line attached to them or whatever. But if they really get tangled in there, dolphins and whales, because they have to come up to the surface to breathe, will get tangled and they'll like suffocate and drown underwater, which is super sad. And then if they manage to get out of the nets, right, then they're swimming around with gear on them, which sucks and makes it harder for them to reproduce, which is really bad for them. I read a really neat stat on your guys' website last night about North Atlantic right whales. You guys do work for them here, right?
You're not on the West Coast. So
on the East Coast?
The right whales are an East Coast species that we.
That.
Oh, holy. Those might be California sea lions.
Sea lions. Wow.
Oh, wonderful breach at our 12 o'clock.
Wow.
Yes,
Right,
she's
they're getting a little bit more active, guys. Definitely keep your camera burning out.
so many whales.
This one is great.
Right towards the front of the boat. It's gonna be a little 1 o'clock now. We're gonna try to get a little bit closer. Get another shot like this. First reach of the day. Another great reach.
Chat, we had some more donos come through while we've been talking about bycatch. Jana Parks with $100.
Oh,
Viore with $50 and so close. Neptune with $20. Chefs with $100.
these are all these guys.
Shrezno with $130. Chat, we're at $3,270.
Right there, big splash.
Whales are active, and it's still dead ahead of us, right at you. So,
And there should be two around.
$3,400. Chat, thank you so much.
we're gonna try to get closer. Now they're starting to be on our right side.
Do you know what? You guys know what a breach is?
Chat, do you know what a breach is? You go ahead and tell them anyway.
Basically, it's where the whale will jump out of the water. So this is a 40, 50-foot animal going against gravity, and purely just jumping out. We don't know why it happens.
Whales reach.
We don't know why it happens. We don't know if they're bored. Maybe they have some indigestion. Maybe they're trying to get some barnacles off their body or something. We can never predict it. We never know when it's about to happen, but it's still absolutely incredible to see, and very rare. So you guys, hopefully, will get to see them because it is such a cool experience.
We've already seen way more than I expected to see. Like, there are whales everywhere.
Another reason they
We left off, we were talking about North Atlantic right whales. And on the WDC website, they talk about bycatch and how there's like 370 individuals left. Like wild individuals, North Atlantic right whales, 370. Over 86% of them have been entangled at least once. And then we've lost 67 individuals since 2010 to entanglement. I mean, those are like significant numbers.
Yeah, so
Like-
that's a species that is like can often get entangled very easily.
Yeah.
They're very slow and they like to swim at the surface, which is not ideal.
Yeah.
And there actually is this incredible story just this year. There was an entangled right whale named Snowcone. So Snowcone was heavily entangled. She's dragging line, and one more coming. Next thing we know, all of a sudden, Snowcone shows up with a baby. So she actively had a calf while entangled, which is unheard of. Like, this has never happened before. And really just shows how resilient the species is.
right at 3 o'clock. Very close to our right leg. About 25 feet away.
I just thought that was a really good example, Chad, of how entanglement's not, I mean, it truly like could have an impact on a species as a whole. Like it could wipe out a species as a whole. So we have that, we have on-demand fishing gear, and then we were going to talk about the Marine Mammal Rescue Program, which you're a part of.
Yeah. So I'm one of the trained staff. So our U.S. office just launched a new marine mammal rescue and response program. So basically, we're responding to live and dead seals, dolphins, and whales in a specific area. So we are technically permitted through the government, so through NOAA. So we will be responding to things in order to help kind of learn more about the marine mammals. So if it's a dead seal on the beach, we may do something called a necropsy, which is like an animal autopsy to figure out how it died. Ooh, big drop. In addition, if it's live, then we may monitor it, we may try to help it back into the water, maybe transport it to a facility that can help take care of it, kind of like a rehab essentially.
Yeah.
And it is really important because it can help kind of be a key indicator of how species are doing in the area. All of a sudden, if a bunch of seals come up and they have a specific, like, maybe chemical in their body or something, we could be like, hey, what's going on? There's something weird going on. So it helps to kind of be a little indicator of the health of our ocean as well. Doing good?
Doing great.
I'm so So basically we have our incredible stranding coordinator that we hired September. She's doing a wonderful job of getting this program kick-started. And we work with a number of other stranding partners as well. So we work with some ones down the Cape, as well as up north as well.
Very cool. Okay, and another interesting thing I wanted to bring up. What can viewers do to help prevent bycatch, entanglement, and strandings? And is there anything they can do in regards to consumer choice? Because when we talk about like bycatch, a lot of it has to do with fishing gear, right? And if you're consuming fish and stuff like that, is there anything that they can do, you know, to prevent that from happening? While you answer that question, I'm gonna go throw up.
So, great question. Basically, a lot of it can be just being conscious of what you're consuming. So, where are you getting your fish from? Especially if it is a locally sourced fish. If you're obviously on the coast, that is definitely more ideal. A lot of the fishing industry can have certain different certifications. So if you can see them around, especially there's like whale safe ones as well. In addition, just be aware, hey, how are the fishing, how is it going in your general area? Where are you getting your fish from? A lot of, unfortunately, what we see is in stranding sometimes is entanglement in like discarded fishing gear, or sometimes we'll see ingested plastic. And so another good thing to just kind of in general keep an eye out is hey, what kind of plastic or stuff am I throwing away? Am I making sure I'm properly disposing of things? Am I recycling so that it's not ending up in the waterways? Because we do see, especially on whale watches, especially on the East Coast, we see a lot of trash. We see a lot of balloons. When you let go of a balloon, it doesn't just go up in the atmosphere, it comes down. So just be conscious of how you're throwing things away. In addition, the stereotypical six-pack of like, hey, make sure you cut all the rings so that a bird doesn't get its neck stuck in it as well. Ultimately, what you do does have an impact. We're watching these whales, and it is so incredible to see. But you do have a little bit of a say in the fate of these animals. And especially as you're watching them live and in the wild, it makes you appreciate them a bit more as well. So we're keeping our eye out for some humpbacks. I thought I saw some dolphins over there. Like, could be wrong. Again, gotta give a shout out to Maya. She's killing it for the first time on a boat. It definitely is an acquired skill that some people can get used to.
Okay. All right, amazing. Thank you.
Love how you're rallying.
Thank you for carrying the stream while I disappear. Chat. The last like educational topic that I wanted to include on the stream, because I get questions about it a lot and it is kind of a hot topic, is whales and dolphins in captivity. It's people have been talking about it a lot, especially with SeaWorld and stuff like that. I'm sure you guys have seen stuff like that online. And Whale and Dolphin Conservation does a lot. They have an end captivity campaign. Except that's your UK. Is that you? No, that's your.
We do some work too.
Oh, okay. So I'll let Sabrina talk a little bit about why whales and dolphins in captivity is such a problem.
It really is. I mean, you got to remember that this is an animal that, depending on the size, can be over 20 feet long. It can swim thousands and thousands of miles in a single day. And so to put it in a tank, 40 by 40 foot tank for the rest of its life is kind of disheartening. I mean, especially since some species, especially like dolphins or belugas, are very social animals. They live in a pod, and they'll live with their pod the whole entire life. So it's a very cultural thing. They'll swim together, they'll feed together, and the grandmothers are the matriarch. So once you pull those animals apart, not only do they lose their family, but they also are stuck swimming in the same circle every time. So WDC is actively working to try to put an end to that, because there are a lot of really great alternatives to it. And one of the best ones, like one of the best ways that you really can try to make an impact to put an end to captivity is just to not buy a ticket, we say. So if it is an aquarium or something that has marine mammals in captivity, just don't buy a ticket. Instead, buy a ticket for a whale watch. And then you get to see them in the wild, doing what they do, doing their little whale thing. And it definitely makes it more, at least I think, it's worth it. Like, you get to see animals in their natural habitat.
Yeah.
They're very intelligent creatures in general, so
Question. Yeah. Well, I'm sure it's different for everywhere, but is wild capture legal here? Like, are they still taking them from the wild and bringing them in?
Yeah, not in the U.S.
Okay.
That was banned a bit ago.
Thank you.
But actually, a lot of those wild captures did happen here in the Pacific Northwest, especially with the orcas. So another species we work on is the southern residents, which are an endangered orca species. And they unfortunately were really decimated by those live captures. And so you may have heard a lot of Lolita, or Tokite is her indigenous name, but she is the last remaining southern resident orca in captivity. I think she's around like 70-something years old. And it is quite disheartening. So she's currently being moved, which is good. Hopefully to like a sea sanctuary or something.
Cool.
So.
Right, yeah, so WDC is creating sanctuaries. Is there something about what was it, beluga whales?
Yeah, so WDC, along with the Beluga Sea Life Trust, worked to create the first sea sanctuary for two of the belugas. So Little Gray and Little White were living in an aquarium in captivity in Asia, somewhere in Asia, I believe. And so we ended up flying them over to Iceland, where we have a sea pen. So it's an enclosed space, but it's kind of like a bay, and so they're able to swim in more natural waters. Unfortunately, it is hard for a lot of captive whales and dolphins to just go out into the wild, because they live their whole life in captivity, and so they more often than not won't survive. And so putting them in a sea sanctuary helps to provide that like kind of next layer where they get to feel the tides, they get to see a bird and interact with puffins and stuff. And so we are very excited to have started the first actual sanctuary for these two belugas.
There you go. Very cool. We're at $3,500 in donations. Amazing. Thank you guys so much. So with captivity, it's about on your website. No, stopping wild capture, ending the demand, and creating sanctuaries. So like she said, where watch trips like this is a great way to see those animals up. I mean, they've been pretty close. Like this is like up close, in a responsible way, and just not supporting like whales and dolphins in captivity where they're being used for entertainment, because that's not it. What else? Oh, I want to talk a little bit about dorsal fin collapse. You guys have seen in orcas in captivity that really long dorsal fin, which I also read can be like 7 feet tall, which is crazy. Yeah. Like, that's huge. Can you tell them about dorsal fin collapse or what that is?
Yeah, so it basically is, especially in captive orcas, they see the dorsal fin eventually start to kind of curve over, where it's definitely not supposed to look like that. The dorsal fin is used for these whales to be super hydrodynamic. They cut through the water really fast. So by then having that, it definitely is harmful. But it tends to happen especially as they're in the same pool. They don't swim to deep levels anymore. They're not making the long migrations or long travels. And so just eventually, just with gravity, it tends to kind of fold over. So not only that, but they also tend to have a lot of mental stress as well. We see they've seen orcas bite at metal or at bars and kind of breaks down their teeth. Then causes a lot of pain as well, as they have exposed root. Like, I can't even imagine. I don't like teeth stuff, but like an exposed root, like, oh gosh. And it's just because they're bored. They're swimming in the same tank every day.
WC's website says that dorsal fin collapse they've witnessed in about 1% of wild orcas and in 100% of captive adult male orcas, which is mind-blowing. And she's right. I mean, I don't know that I've seen orcas in captivity very many times in my life, but I definitely think of them as having that collapsed dorsal fin. We're moving, which you'd think would be a bad thing for me, but it makes it so much better. It's when we stop and then we start rocking that it gets worse. So like, we're moving and grooving right now. This is great. Okay. Okay. And then the last topic that we have on here before we get into this Q&A is diversity, equality, and inclusion. So we're gonna move a little bit away from the educational pieces where we're actually talking about whale and dolphins, and we're gonna talk on a bigger scale about diversity, equality, and inclusion, because that's something that's really important to WDC. I wanted to highlight that with them today because it's all laid out on their website. There's not just in marine conservation, but in conservation in general, there's not enough diversity in the field, which is something that I don't talk about on my stream all that often. We talked about it a little bit on the conservation cast, but I thought it would be cool to talk about today. It's bringing to talk about what WDC does a little bit more in regards to that.
Yeah, so our executive director has really taken to try to change a lot of what we have been doing to implement some different practices, really. In general, most students would do about 3 unpaid internships in their life. When you think about it, especially if it's an unpaid internship, they're usually having to pay for housing. Maybe they have to pay for the training of the internship, or maybe they're even paying for the opportunity themselves. That can really cause quite a barrier for many general students overall. And so we're taking a kind of look at the marine science and seeing how we can change some of the things. So one of the first parts is that we have altered or changed up our intern program, where we now have paid full-time positions, which is fairly unheard of, especially in the marine mammal field.
For sure.
And so we are very excited to currently they will be working with our program people to have that general knowledge of what we're doing, as well as gain really transferable skills. So maybe if that's not what they want to do at the end of their life, well, they have general experience that is helpful for any other job that they may encounter. So that's kind of the start of it. We also have started a bit of a diversity council with a number of other marine science organizations so that we can all talk about, hey, what are issues that we're looking to address? How can we figure out a chance for interns to have housing so that they don't necessarily have to pay for housing? What are ways that we can incorporate more diverse voices? So not only just racially, but also religiously or LGBTQ, and just open access or accessibility, even disabilities, just to make sure that what we are doing is open and available for everybody. Because when you think of a maybe
White
a
guy
white
in a lab coat,
guy,
yeah.
exactly, a white guy in a lab coat, Albert
Right.
Einstein.
Yeah.
But there are so many incredible scientists out there, conservationists, that we also need to help share the microphone with.
Yeah. But we had we're having our first F of the day, which honestly is incredible.
Yeah.
Like the bit rate is dropping, but that's okay. Is it backspace? I mean, can they hear us? Okay. Should we put a signal to pick up again?
You guys are doing pretty good. Let's hear that humpback whale
Okay.
signal.
Oh, they
Now,
can
on
see.
average, this humpback whale signal
Hello, we're
is
people
up to
tripping.
25 feet
That's
in
okay, Chad. Just take a deep breath. You'll be
So
fine.
from tip to tip, that would be 25 feet.
Audio's fine. Cool. Guys, shout out to Slick. He's been cameramanning this whole time, and I know that Slick is a little bit seasick as well. He's doing great.
Also killing
Oh,
it.
killing it. Oh, it's going great.
I kind of think we're surrounded by whales too. There's like
I know.
full
I keep
blows
seeing.
of-
Yeah. They're everywhere.
and some of them-
That whale did just trumpet blow. Could be that this whale is in a playful mood and
hear me. We're gonna do conservation cast style Q&A. Okay? So if you have questions, I've seen a couple of them come through the chat. You do hashtag ask. And then your question. Alright, I'm gonna open the bot and me and Sabrina are gonna ask your answers. So if you have any, I'm gonna open the bot. How many species of whales and dolphins are there?
Ooh, great question. So there are around 90 different species, 80 to 90. The wild thing is we're still finding new species. So just last year we found the Ramari's beaked whale, a totally unique, different beaked whale that was initially thought. But like I said, it could be broken down into the dolphins, the toothed whale is the baleen category, and worldwide, around 90.
Good question, Ronnie. Thank you. Okay. The next question is from Matt G. Said, how do whales communicate and navigate?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah. So it's a bit different. With toothed whales, they do have something called echolocation, similar to like bats. I'm sure you guys probably talked about it. So they do echolocate to identify food and stuff, but they do also talk. So humpback whales sing. We thought that they only sing to communicate during mating season, but we're finding that they are starting to talk and chatter and sing throughout really their whole life, or throughout the whole year basically. There are some really cool species like right whales. They have all sorts. They like burp. They do grunts. Like all sorts of really weird sounds. And so there are really cool scientists out there that only study whale acoustics. So they look and see, and they learn how to speak whale.
That's
but they do communicate a lot through sound, and sound travels really far in the water. So.
this is a good one for you to figure out.
Great question. What's your favorite? It's so hard because I love so many. Humpbacks are fun just because they can't hear us.
The whale can pop up.
Oh, this is mine. I love how it purposes. It's my favorite.
Guys, I'm sorry, Slick is on his National Geographic cameraman game. He knows that
He's trying to catch the breach.
it's really important to him that you guys can't see a breach. He's just trying really hard. I'm sorry. But we said what kind of whale is best, and she said her favorite. What was it?
I'm a harp porpoise fan. I love those little guys.
There you
They're
go.
so cute.
Okay. We had some donos. Stacey, you want to read them to me? More donos.
Donuts.
Anonymous with 5, Ryan with 5, Stealthy with 20, Briscoe with 20, No Lion with 10, Stealthy with 10, Cake with 30, Skunk with 20, Gandhi with $10, Stealthy with 20, Cinderheart with 42, Anonymous with 42, Anonymous with $10 and Anonymous with $50. Just under $3,700 in donations today. Thank you guys so much. Nick, we're using a hi Nick. Nick's in chat. We're using it's my Sony. It's my desktop cam. It's a what is it? An A7 AS7 III. Hi Trevor. This is movie quality. I'm glad that the camera looks good. Big time. Okay. Let's see. Ooh, this is a fun question. Ratchet said, does WDC have merch?
Ooh, we do. Yeah, we...
Look at her. Yes, they have merch.
Fortunately, jacket's not for sale.
Okay, but the beanie.
Yeah, but we have some pretty cool reusable garb, like a bamboo bag. We have some... My favorite is my sunglasses. I'm not wearing it right now because, sadly, it's a little cloudy. Miles back up. Stickers. We love your They're caring about it. And we have whale adoptions. Totally forgot that. Whale adoptions are one of the best ways to support our work, but it's also a super fun gift because you can symbolically adopt a whale for someone. You get a certificate with their name on it, you get a family tree, and we actually see the humpback whales off of our coast, East Coast. So we're able to kind of just provide stories about them. So, and then the money is one of the best ways to support our work. So that's the way.
Ray asked, how long do whales live? I'm sure it's dependent on species, but they can live like a really long time.
Yeah, so we estimate maybe as long as humans could reach up to 100, but we really don't entirely know. That's the wild part. We're only just now, starting in the 1970s or so, have started to track individuals. Bowhead whales can maybe even get up to like 200 years old. So still so much that we don't know about these whales, which makes it like kind of really cool.
All right. What else? Spence asked, what is the fastest whale?
I should know. My mind wholeheartedly will admit, my mind just blinked. I know it's concerned.
Dolphins can swim in like
porpoise.
They can be in like 30 miles per hour or something like that, right? 35 or something crazy.
Yeah, I think Dall's porpoises is a specific type of porpoise that can get fairly fast.
Very cool. There was a question here that said, "Where are you guys?" We're in Monterey.
Looking at whales, there's a whale right there.
I do believe that this is technically a national marine sanctuary too. So this is a very specific spot that has really high biodiversity. There's really only about 13 or so national marine sanctuaries in the United States. This is one of them. We have another one off of the East Coast. So it's a spot that provides a little extra protection for all of the marine life that we see. Amazing. Oh, look at that stretch. That is called a snaking. Love it. They do live a little bit stretch. Maybe they're back.
A lot of really great questions. One, I can't read my phone because it's making me really sick. So there are a couple variations of this question. It's one that I did want to answer before we end this stream, and that's a lot of you guys are on the younger side, and a lot of people ask me, like, how do you get into conservation work? How do you work with animals? Like, how do you get into stuff like this? Get involved with Whale and Dolphin Conservation. And Sabrina's going to give you her best advice for you if you're interested in this kind of work.
Yeah. It's one that we get a lot as well. And so there are a few different things. First of all, just start to educate yourself. Watch documentaries, read books, especially if you're super interested in one species. Learn everything that you can about them. Another great way, and this is where it is hard because there's a lot of unpaid internships, but doing internships is one of the best ways that you can not only gain experience, but figure out what you like to do too. Before my time at WDC, I interned at a zoo before, so I got to do animal husbandry. I did a little bit of animal rehab. So that way you can kind of figure out, what am I good at? What do I like to do? And get a little taste of different things. Another great way to do it is just by volunteering. See if you have any local animal groups in your hometown. It could be whether it's a humane society or a pet rescue, just by having that initial experience of, hey, yeah, I clean cat cages or I scoop some cat poop for a few hours every day. That's a great way to start to build your resume.
I give the exact same advice.
Yeah.
I'm like, my thing is always if it's not a zoo, start at a dog or a cat shelter. You know, experience with animals is experience for me too.
Yeah. Exactly. And just be passionate.
Space, are there any more donos to read out? Chat, we're $200 away from 4K. Foxhole Cake with $10. Edgy with $5. And Jana Park with $100. Thank you so much. That brings us to a total so far of $3,800. Yeah, we're $200 away from $4,000.
That's wild.
And look at these seabirds. Very cool. I just want to give another huge shout out to WDC as a whole and to Sabrina for flying out here for this stream. This was such a cool organization to partner with for this series. I'm sorry about the seasickness. We're pulling through, but it went. This went as well as I could have expected it to go. This is amazing. The tech has been great. Slick has been great. So thank you for cameramanning, and you guys have been great. Thank you so much. If you want to know more about WDC, you can do Command WDC. Thank you so much if you donated today. That makes a huge difference. Seriously, Satan was your name was $50. Thank you so much. they're really like on the front lines doing the most for whale and dolphin conservation. There's a whale right there. Right there. $150 and your Reese with $100 to get us over $4,000 today for WDC. Jot,
That's awesome.
I've done a lot of conservation on my channel. I want to do, oh, that was mine. I want to do more, but I also don't do, I do hardly any marine conservation on my channel, if any at all. So I'm really, really excited to be able to highlight different conservation organizations in this travel series, and get to people that are doing things that I don't have access to, you know, with Alveus. Super, super honored to be working with WDC. Super honored to do this stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shrezno's great. She carried when I was off throwing up. So no, you were great. Thank you so much.
And shout out to her too for pulling through, because the way that she rallied, it was like, okay, no, I'm good. You're killing it.
We're doing great, chat. We're on this boat for a little while longer, but that's gonna be it for the stream today. The donations were insane. Thank you so much. Command WDC and Sidava with $50 to end us off. Thank you so much. This was amazing. I really appreciate you guys being here. I hope you had fun. I will see you on Saturday back at Alveus for a keeping stream. Again, shout out to Space for running the production for this whole stream. He ran all the posts, he ran all the videos, he's been in my ear this whole time. And shout out to Slick for traveling with me, just a cameraman. Big time. And shout out to Slick for not throwing up. I thought Slick was gonna throw up. Thank you guys for being here. I will see you guys on Saturday. Do you have anything else that you want to add?
No, we're just so thank you so much for having us. This has been
of course
so wonderful.
So cool.
You're absolutely incredible.
Successful pilot episode. Yay! Okay, I'll see you guys on Saturday. Goodbye.